The Bonn-based startup relios.vision has figured out how neuroradiology can use less contrast agent in MRI examinations. Its AI-based SmartContrast software means that only a third of the conventional amount is needed. This means that instead of giving the full approved standard dose of an MRI contrast agent, it is sufficient to inject a lower dose intravenously, and the resulting image is enhanced by the software algorithm, just as if the standard dose had been applied. The doctor believes that the reduced dose has several advantages, particularly in patients who receive serial imaging. For example, in the context of tumor diseases every 3 months over many years, this naturally saves an enormous amount of contrast medium. In addition to these patient considerations, it is also simply an economic point. MRI contrast agent is very expensive. It contains a rare earth element, and if you just give less, then it's economical for the hospitals that pay for it. And last but not least, it's also an increasing point that has great visibility. The MRI contrast agent is excreted via the kidneys after the intravenous injection for the medical examination, and thus gets into the groundwater and the drinking water, where it is also already detected with increasing concentration over the last 30 years that we have been using this now, also with a completely unclear outcome for our environment. The software causes no additional work in the workflow because the image is generated automatically in less than 2 minutes. To ensure that the images are correct, the algorithms behind them have been extensively trained and tested. The normal images are taken, which means the native image without contrast medium, and one with the full dose. And we take an additional contrast medium image. And from this triple of images, everything is then trained using the algorithm. The software is in the state of software freeze right now. That means we're at the stage where the software can now start, as it is, into the internal validation phase. We have done a multi-center data acquisition, so we are using many different MRI machines, field strengths, and manufacturers to train and validate the software. To make the big leap from research project to a marketable product, the interdisciplinary team from neurology, mathematics, and computer science exchanges ideas on a daily basis. In addition, regular funding is important for such a project. We have actually received support from various sources, initially on a scientific basis through our faculty at the university and at the university hospital here. Among other things, we also received prizes for this potential product. And in addition to the support from the Federal Agency for Leap Innovation, we also received a funding instrument last year. That supports companies that have women on the board. The funding is the Women Tech EU from the European Commission. Then we also have support where no money at all is provided, but a lot of know-how, expertise, and networks. This is the CDL, which stands for Creative Disruption Lab. I can only say that it's worthwhile to stay involved and invest enough time to network alongside product development. So far, SmartContrast has been used for adults. In the future, the software will also primarily benefit vulnerable groups such as pregnant women or children.